Good morning, friends. I am back with another video. So many of you guys gave me such great feedback and overall really seemed to enjoy my last video talking about my mindset during 2020 and all the changes. So I decided I would make another video and just continue and play around with it. I also made a video with one of my friends, Emily, about astrology, so if you haven't seen that, you should check it out. It's really cool. You can learn some cool stuff about your birth chart and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, today I'm here to talk about overall your ego, my ego specifically. It's been a huge learning season for me and pretty challenging season. So I've kind of taken some lessons that I've been learning and put them down, and hopefully I can give some insight and share some knowledge about how I'm kind of fighting the struggles that I'm going through, and I hope that this helps serve you as well. I'm super thankful for everyone that is, again, interested in my journey and what I'm doing with my life. I think a lot of you followed me originally because of doing hair and my work and what I used to post doing color. But I'm starting to kind of figure out a new path. I think it's time for me to take a step back, and that's actually why I'm moving. I've spent the last 4 years in Atlanta just growing and building this life, and I am ready to experience new life. I'm going through the process of letting go of a lot of things. I'm going through the process of questioning what it is that I'm meant to do here on this earth. And I'm also going through the process of waking up to my ego and waking up to a lot of tendencies I have that are pretty toxic. I'm constantly listening to psychologists and people that are a lot smarter than me, because I learned that we really have to look at others that are doing things that they've mastered and almost mimic those things. I think that the internet literally has so much information out there. At least once a day, I'm listening to a podcast that is teaching me something. We need to be able to relearn habits, relearn ways of thinking. You know, our upbringing has a huge play and a huge part in the way we look at the world, the way we look at ourselves, the way we look at each other. And I'm the kind of person that I don't want my upbringing to define who I am as an adult. I want to be able to learn about my weak spots and learn about the psychology of why I do certain things. I want to find those tips and tricks that are going to help me in life, because struggling isn't fun. I think that struggling and being in a really vulnerable place and feeling like shit, it's a part of the process. So the past few months, I've spent a lot of time dissecting my ego and being very self-aware of the things that I say, the things that I do. Is this me? Is this Annie that is saying these things, that is believing these things? Or is that just what makes me comfortable? Or is that just what was instilled in me as a child? Through questioning these things, I have indeed found a lot of, self-destructing patterns within myself. If we're living this life where we have this false sense of self, like this false idea that like, I'm doing good, I don't need to work on anything, like I'm just in my job I don't like, but it's whatever, I'm gonna stay here because it pays me money, or I'm in this relationship that I don't feel 100% I should be in, but it's really uncomfortable to get out of, so I'm just gonna stay here. I think that ends up hurting us in the long run. When my ego has me feeling this false sense of self, this very prideful type of persona, it doesn't take very long for me to realize that I'm actually really struggling, and that ego is just a mask. It's a mask to make me feel better and to make me feel like I'm okay. I've started sitting with my really negative feelings and my really uncomfortable feelings. I will literally stop what I'm doing. I will just sit and I'll breathe and I'll just, I feel like shit right now, but that's okay. I accept it. I'm here with it. I'm not gonna ignore it. Ignoring it is when ego comes in. Ignoring it is when I don't need to work on that. I don't need to look at that emotion. I don't need to feel that thing because I'm doing good. I'm good without it. But I think what that does is that sets us off in a path for a lifelong journey of struggling. My goal is to become my best friend. My goal is to truly believe I already have everything that I need in life, and that I'm truly happy by myself with no one around me or with no materialistic things around me. I think that if we can all somehow do that, like somehow slowly start to be okay with all sides of ourselves, the ugly, the good, the bad, the creative, the lazy, then we suffer less. Isn't that the goal of life? Just like learning how to suffer less. I think one of the solutions is really just detoxing, taking a step back. I love social media, I love seeing what friends are doing on there, I love sharing, but there's this like, tribal tendency that we have to feel accepted, to feel like we're in constant connection, to feel like we, do the good things to make everyone around us proud of us. It could also root from our childhoods, depending on the childhood you had. Personally, I feel that I'm always kind of striving to do the best and get acknowledgement from people around me. And I'm learning this dance of how can I, instead of looking for others to validate myself, how can I look inward and validate myself with only myself? We're navigating 2020 and this technological era of ad overload, business corporation overload. Everyone wants your attention. Everyone wants you to feel things. Like, there's so much manipulation going around today. We all want to feel like we're the best, and we all want to feel very happy. But are people just fueling your ego to make you feel this false sense of happiness? It's a really, really hard cycle to break. But I think that being aware of it, like me right now talking about this, it makes me aware of it. I journal often, at least once a day. It's really like a diary. I really write things as if I am just getting my brain on paper, and it has helped me process and connect so deep with myself through so many things in my life. It allows you to be aware of your experience, because I think we're all so used to numbing out our experiences. We're constantly in all these other directions, and by we I mean me. So it's like, how do we rewire our brains to do the healthy thing, to be aware of what's going on? For me, journaling has been a fantastic tool. Changing things little by little each day, like little tiny habits, and just starting on changing your perspective and just planting little seeds goes a long way. Rewiring our patterns and our self-doubts and our insecurities is very difficult. But when if we try just like a little bit, just like slightly start to try, I think that we'll end up in a better place in the future than if we just continue ignoring these issues. Another thing that has literally saved my life is having really, really amazing friends. I've had friends that have had the emotional capacity to love me without any judgment in any state that I'm in. And I think that we need people like that. I think that if we stop and look around and we start to digest, like, who are the people that we're getting advice from? Who are the brands and the Instagram accounts and the music and the people that we're filling our heads with? Are they positive? Are they gonna make us feel better about ourselves? Are they gonna instill like that strength and that power to be our best selves? Or are we listening to people that are like really doubtful and not supportive? I think that's something that we should all look inward at and begin to change, even if it's slowly. If you want that life where you feel free and open to be yourself and to be unapologetic, you need those people surrounding you that are also going to give you the same thing. I think that if we grow up in a toxic or a chaotic household, sometimes we end up finding friends that can be mimicking or almost resemble those people that we grew up around. And we can kind of stay in this pattern, we can stay in this group. We're each so individually beautiful and complex and have so much to offer the world. Why would we waste our time with people that make us feel less than or don't support us towards our goals and towards our dreams? I'm here to say that it is very possible to set boundaries and to be okay with setting your own worth and setting your own standard. I think that the best skill that we can all learn and benefit from would be stopping in many moments throughout the day. I grew up with a dad that's like, if you're not early, you're late, come on, go, 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 go. It was like constant snapping, constant, speed and doing things really fast and trying to get somewhere really fast. And it instilled a lot of stress in me, a lot of anxiety in me, because I constantly started feeling like, holy shit, if I'm not doing it now, if I'm not doing the best at it, if I'm not getting things done, then I'm failing, then I'm not succeeding. I'm starting to relearn these patterns, and I'm realizing that in order to actually succeed, you really have to slow down. Just literally stop. How do I feel right now? What am I doing? Am I being consciously aware of these decisions and these thoughts, or am I letting my mind do like a rat race? All the wise people in the world talk about how meditating is the way to become your best friend with yourself. You're listening to what it is that you're experiencing versus just distracting and going about life with ignorance and ignoring what you're actually feeling. Though it may be difficult, and though it may be really ugly to just look at yourself in the mirror and experience what it is you're truly experiencing, it's necessary. Use this as a seed. Use this as a way to be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna start. I might listen to a podcast today about depression or anxiety, or I might listen to a podcast today about my eating disorder. Just start. Just continue learning. Continue seeking out that information that's gonna help you. I am now able to catch myself when I have a negative thought, and when I do, I think of it kind of as a river flowing. And I'm sitting on this like bend of a river in my head, and like as thoughts are going through the river, I think of it as like they're on boats and it's stuck right at the bend. I can literally think like, okay, I'm really sitting on this thought too much. I'm gonna let that continue to flow down the river, and I just kind of like let it escape my mind. Okay, 5-10 minutes later, comes back again, same thing. I catch myself, I'm like, okay, I'm doing it again. I'm gonna breathe, and I'm gonna let it go, because it doesn't serve me right now. And if it continues to come back, that's telling you something. Maybe you need to look inward, maybe you need to really do some more inner work and really get that pen and paper and write down what you're experiencing and what you're feeling. It's gonna keep coming back until finally you learn that lesson and you help yourself. I am really passionate about the self-help area of life. I will forever have a student mentality. When I was a really young age, it was very obvious to me that if I wanted to do anything, it was up to me. It was my choices. It was the things that I did and how I did them was gonna set me up for success or for failure. I would sit in my room and I would say, I'm okay hurting. I'm okay, this hurts really bad, but I'm good because that means that later in life, I won't hurt as bad. I won't get to struggle as bad. I knew that by going through the pain of what I was experiencing as a kid, that I would never make the same mistake twice. What is it that other people are doing that I don't want to do? What is it that other people are doing that I really want to do? Because in order to get away from the pain I was feeling, it was, I'm not going to make the same mistake again, and I will teach myself. And I'm very thankful. I'm extremely thankful. But I'm not done yet. I'm not even close to getting to the places that I dream about. So I'm using this time to learn and to grow and to reflect, to be self-aware of my decisions, so that in the future, what I'm doing now as an adult, just like when I was a kid, what I was doing as a kid and what was happening around me as a kid, it's going to set me off for something in the future. Look at your ego in the face, look at her, look at him, be like, bro, who are you fooling? Who are you fooling? This video kind of went in a bunch of different directions. I am just playing around, just talking about things that I'm learning. I think the goal in life is to help each other and to love each other. I love to serve. I love to give perspective and to help people kind of view things in a different way. So I really hope that if you've made it to the end of this video, you've enjoyed it. Please share this with a friend. Like one friend you think might think this was cool, one friend you might think that this could help them. Find a friend to talk about this subject of your own ego or your emotions or your own healing and your own self-awareness. You know, I'm always open to, like, if you want to DM me your experience, I love to learn from people, like I said, and I love to have conversations. But think of the people in your life that are the healthiest and the most supporting, and maybe talk to them about things that you've been keeping in, and that'll kind of open the door to some healing. So thank you for watching this and continuing to be interested in my journey, because a lot of shit's about to change for me. Like I said, I'm literally moving states, probably traveling around out west a lot at the beginning of 2021. If you want to stay connected, make sure you're following me. I really am appreciative of people that are willing to listen to me and to learn from me. I think it's so cool when people DM me, like message me right after this and let me know things that you liked or things that you didn't like or topics you might want me to talk about. I have a few ideas coming in the future. I'm gonna go work and continue selling things in my apartment. Life is good, y'all.